Alright, kind of a gusty day, so I don't know how we'll do here. I got the good wind camera, but you pay a price for a wind reduction. Anyway, Fred, yeah, sorry about your thing, yeah, your injury. It would be, yeah, I almost got myself one. Yeah, it'd be kind of good if you had video of that one. And if you decide to do surgery on yourself, yeah, sure, that would be a great video. Yeah, I don't know how you, well, I guess you could use ice or something to numb it and such. But, anyway, but that's this whole psychology that runs us. You know, our priorities can get changed awful quick, and all of a sudden a bunch of stuff we thought was important is a lot less important. When, you know, the shit hits the fan, so to speak, or the car hits the cat, or whatever, it does give you that reboot, you know, that re-perspective. And that's sort of an interesting phenomenon, because a lot of what we're talking about philosophically does end up getting perverted and polluted by who we are personally. There's always that accusation out there that, you're only making, it's like the racist. They come up with rationalizations for what they're having as a personal feeling. It's not really so much about anything real as it is just the way they feel about it. It doesn't feel right. And so, because it doesn't feel right, they make the feeling a truth. That doesn't mean anything. It's like I have sort of a prejudice against, fat. I don't like fat, on women. A lot of it. I just don't. It just doesn't appeal to me. But I know mentally, intellectually, that it should be irrelevant. It's just an aesthetic thing. And, it's kind of just rubbish. Who cares? And even though I know that, I can't really make myself change how I feel, but, I can play with it a little bit. I can make counter rationalizations. The brain can, not that I do it. Programming does it. Attempts to argue with the subjective senses and inform them that, it'd be a lot easier if you just like to, ooh, hot tree. Ooh, yeah, I really like you, baby. I mean, yeah, life would be a lot easier if you could just, if anything did it for you. So yeah, you might as well expand rather than contract, those personal sensibilities. Anyway, getting back to the subject, which are these coping mechanisms of the human mentality, the animal mentality, let's call it what it is, and, the fact that we endeavor to persevere, quoting from the outlaw Josie Wales, The Amazing Atheist's favorite movie, happens to also be one of my favorites, top 10er anyway. Yeah. And so we endeavor to persevere, and so we come up with, rationalizations and defenses and justifications for all kinds of nonsense that goes on in our little friggin' subjective. Alright, a little bit of technical difficulty. Yeah, batteries. I didn't recharge them. Stupid. That's what I was, stupid. Anyway, lost a lot of good stuff. Actually, I was really quite brilliant. So on this whole subject of, how our perspective, our attitude towards things can change dramatically depending on, our circumstance, our current perspective in terms of what we're feeling, And, when you're caught up in it, when you're living in the best part of it, when you're in the chase, when you're feeling strong and good, it's really hard to listen to the complaints and say, what, you're complaining? Everything's pretty cool here, And, it's really easy to ignore it, to out of sight, out of mind kind of thing, and to just wallow in your moment of chase, in the run. And those are little bits of bliss we get, but they're little bits. And yeah, the other dark side stuff, the negative, is just really, really bleak, or it can be really horrific, really bleak. And I'd say that's the truth of it. The bleak is the truer, the truer perspective in terms of cleansing you of the addiction. Because it's the addiction that's the real power force here. It's the one that keeps us in the game. It's the desire mechanism. Like, I'm just not finished. There's more to accomplish. That kind of psychology of, I'm not satisfied with letting it be the way it is. It needs more. It's an unfinished painting. It's an unfinished piece of work. It's an unfinished boat. A half a boat isn't anything. It's like you want to finish the boat. But of course there is no boat, there's nothing to float on. There's no sea to sail. The end, you're always going to think the boat is unfinished. You're never going to be done until it beats it out of you, until it makes you miserable enough to say, no mas, let me out of here. So anyway, yeah, I just did this really well while I was walking and talking. So yeah, it was just totally brilliant. Would have convinced the whole human race that I'm right, and I wouldn't have to continue to make videos. But unfortunately, lost. I just was talking to a dead camera. It's funny. Anyway, so yeah, I'm not going to recapture the same conversation, the same thread of conversation I was on, the same train. Oh yeah, that's right, train. It was really brilliant stuff, because I sort of metaphored it as being train wreck. We're on train wreck, and everybody's just calling it something else. They're calling it happily ever after, like somehow we're going to happily ever after. And you go to happily ever after, and everybody gets off the train, and it's really nice, and yeah, and everybody goes happily ever after. Oh, happily ever after to you too. And it's all fun and blah blah blah. But that's not the train we're on. We don't stop there. That's not where this train stops. This train goes to train wreck. It goes to Fubar. It goes to, yes, you will be fucked up beyond recognition. That's where you're heading. And in all kinds of ways, it's going to fuck you up. It's going to do it in all kinds of nasty, gnarly ways. Yeah, that's the train we're on. And I understand the idea of, okay, well, let's party hardy, man. Let's just forget it and just get on with the business of whoring and debauchery and shit. Fine. As long as you're acknowledging what train you're on. I mean, it's just the lie is just so dangerous, because it encourages other people to build trains, because everybody thinks there's a place called happily ever after, and they keep building trains they think are going to go to happily ever after, and they're just going to go to, your kid is going to get cancer and die. Life is going to beat the shit out of it in one way or another. Fuck. Telephones. Anyway, that, it was a really good metaphor. Maybe I'll come back. Well, we'll see. Alright, anyway, should finish up here. This video really wasn't that much related. Professor Anton did one called Feeling the Motivation of Similarity. Similarity, how things are related, but yeah, that's sort of what this is sort of like. We comfort zones, and what one thing is associated with another thing. And obviously we are maturated in a world that is very pro play the game, very pro the sports, the whole damn adventure, the whole stupid, all the bullshit, all the competitions we play. Society celebrates them, generally speaking, and that becomes what we're comfortable with. That becomes something. It's like people lived with slavery, and so they lived with it. They grew up with it, so they just thought of it as the way things should be, and it was similar in the sense that they could associate it with these things that were pleasant, even though it was this idiotic and stupid and brutal and nasty fucking thing. They could come up with a story
in their head, a narrative that somehow made it make sense, justifiable, because it was associated with all their pleasant memories and their pleasant experiences. Something like that. So anyway, but I mean, this whole subject of how we get the perspective we get and what bugs us and why does something bug me and it doesn't bug somebody else? These are like sort of important questions, because how much of that is has any integrity to it? I mean, how much of it is just a matter of taste, where, yeah, you just grow up eating corn instead of wheat or something, you know, like there's not a dime's worth of difference, it's just a subjective personal experience difference. And then how much of it is, these are real philosophical things, these are real subjects, and how they're even introduced to you will dictate what they represent. I mean, Easter just happened, right? Well, to some people, Easter is a spiritual event, and then to other people, you know, it's just a nice social event, a nice happy family event. You know, it's not Jesus bleeding, hanging from crosses, or any of that kind of shit, or, you know, all that, whatever, that whole crap. Yeah, and then for other people, it's just a benign day off kind of thing. Yay, I'm atheist, but yeah, I don't believe in that Easter shit, blah, 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 whatever. And then other people start to get, you know, Easter represents something even insidious and nasty, and just here's evidence of this corrosive force in our whole human psychology, and we waste, you know, billions of dollars hiding eggs and doing crap and for nothing, instead of taking care, instead of fixing the world we live in. Instead of having Green Day, we have this stupid Easter Day, or something like that, you know, where you could really find it repulsive and repugnant that this Easter thing happens. It becomes, you know, Darth Vader. So there you have these extremes of the perfect beauty of God's sacrifice on the cross, of killing his own son for us, and blah, blah, blah. And the other side of that is, you know, this horrible lie, this wasted energy, this distraction from what we should be thinking about, this evil, insidious, silly fairy tale. And you could do that with just about everything in the world. Is, you know, got these extremes of impressions that people have when they see it. Their triggers and their mechanism experiences something entirely different. And the context of that is there's a rational truth to our existence. And train wreck. Yeah, I mean, it's just it. It's train wreck. It's stupid, pointless, and it runs over shit before it wrecks. You know, it kills some cows and runs over some cats and does some horrible stuff before it even wrecks. It just makes a mess and then wrecks. And yeah, you can get a good glass of champagne on the train ride, but it's a stupid ride. Nobody should be selling tickets, and nobody should be making trains, and nobody should be laying track. Yeah. Alright, now it's enough of a video. So anyway, sorry you missed the really good stuff, but yeah, shit happens. Yeah. Yeah, ask Fred. He'll tell you shit happens. It's just stupid shit. Yeah. Yeah. Life. Oh, God, I hate it so fucking much. Anyway, till later. Whatnot. And so forth.